Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that sits at a really fascinating, maybe unexpected intersection. Artificial intelligence and, well, the spiritual development of young people.
Yeah, unexpected is right.
And the source for this, well, might surprise you. We're talking about a pretty significant warning issued just very recently, June 20th, 2025, and it's from the Vatican. Our main source here is the Economic Times, which really dug into Pope Leo XIV's major concerns about AI's impact,
Right.
especially on children and young people.
Right.
So our mission today really is to unpack why. Why is the Vatican, and specifically this newly elected Pope, taking such a strong stance on AI? What are his precise worries for the next generation, and what's this ethical framework he's proposing?
It is striking.
It really is, isn't it? The
Yeah.
Vatican, taking such a prominent role in the AI ethics conversation. Who would have thought?
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how this deep concern for humanity's future is articulated through this particular lens. It's not just any religious leader weighing in.
Well,
This is seen as a global moral authority stepping into a very rapidly evolving technological landscape.
right.
So this deep dive is really framed around that critical concept, safeguarding human dignity in the age of AI.
Dignity.
And Pope Leo XIV's warning, it specifically zeroes in on the intellectual, neurological, and spiritual development of young people.
That combination, intellectual, neurological, and spiritual.
Exactly. And he even hints at, historical parallels, connecting past technological shifts to what we're seeing now, which is particularly resonant, I think, for a generation that's never known a world without instant access to information.
That focus on youth development is really key then.
Yeah.
So to maybe kick us off, what exactly is Pope Leo XIV's central warning about AI and young people? He's made it clear this is a top priority for his young pontificate.
Yeah, his core warning is pretty direct, that artificial intelligence could negatively impact the intellectual, neurological, and spiritual development of young people. Full stop.
Okay. And how does he propose we guard against that?
Well, he proposes what he calls a superior ethical criterion.
A superior ethical criteria.
Right, and it's not just some, lofty ideal.
Yeah.
He frames it as a practical filter. This principle basically says that any further development of AI has to be judged according to the need to safeguard the dignity of each human being while respecting the diversity of the world's population.
So dignity and diversity, how might that work, like practically?
Well, think about, say, an AI system designed for education, right, to personalize content.
Okay.
Under this criterion, you'd have to ask, does it respect individual dignity? Does it promote genuine understanding? Or could it potentially, narrow horizons by only showing stuff it thinks you want?
The filter bubble issue.
Exactly. Or does it respect diversity? Does it avoid algorithmic bias in how it teaches? This becomes the lens. It's not just about efficiency or profit. It's about that fundamental human dignity.
That distinction he makes between just having data and actual wisdom. That feels incredibly important here. It's crucial. And it brings us back to why he's sounding this alarm specifically for the new generations, as he calls them, with their unprecedented, quick access to information. So for us, for you listening, how do we start thinking about this for ourselves, and especially for the younger people in our lives?
Well, he really elaborates on that crucial distinction, separating mere access to data from intelligence.
Right.
Pope Leo XIV states very powerfully, he says, authentic wisdom has more to do with recognizing the true meaning of life than with the availability of data.
Wow. Okay.
And he links this directly to society's well-being. He emphasizes that our future depends upon their being given the ability to develop their God-given gifts and capabilities.
So when he mentions neurological development, what might that cover? Is it about attention spans or?
It could be exactly that. I mean, he doesn't specify the exact mechanisms, but one could infer concerns about, say, how constant screen time or AI-driven content might affect attention, critical thinking skills, maybe even the brain's reward pathways.
Making deep learning harder, perhaps.
Potentially. Or making sustained focus more challenging. The core question seems to be whether the tech fosters genuine understanding and moral reasoning, or if it just, drowns us in information without context or meaning.
It really does raise that big question. What is wisdom in this digital age when data is everywhere, and how do we nurture it?
Exactly.
And it feels significant that Pope Leo XIV, history's first American pope, right? Elected just this past May, after Pope Francis passed away.
That's right.
That he chose to send this specific message to a conference on AI and ethics. and part of it was held at the Vatican. That really underscores the Holy See's deep kind of institutional concern, doesn't it?
It really does. It signals this isn't just a passing thought, it's a strategic priority.
And it seems this isn't a totally new concern for the Vatican either, is it? There's history here.
Not at all. If you connect this to the bigger picture, you see a pretty consistent papal theme. Safeguarding humanity during these big periods of profound technological change.
Oh, interesting.
Pope Leo IV actually invokes his namesake, Pope Leo XIII.
Okay, Leo XIII.
He was the pontiff during the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, a huge upheaval, right?
Massive.
And Leo XIII, facing all that social change, he made the plight of workers, guaranteeing their rights and dignity, a key priority. He issued that famous encyclical Rerum Novarum.
Right. I know the one.
He saw the need to protect the human person amidst these radical shifts in labor in society. So there's a clear parallel being drawn here. Today's AI challenges regarding dignity, justice, the future of work, it echoes.
So it's a consistent voice, applying long-held principles to new challenges.
Precisely. Defending humanity through disruption.
And Pope Francis, before his death, he was also becoming more vocal about AI threats, wasn't he? How did his warnings kind of line up with what we're hearing now?
Absolutely. There's real continuity. Francis specifically urged politicians, to take the lead, to make sure AI stays human-centric.
Human-centric.
Yeah, and he highlighted particularly that decisions about using weapons, or he said even less lethal tools, must always remain made by humans, not machines.
So keeping humans in the loop, essentially.
Exactly. His focus was very much on human oversight, accountability, preventing autonomous systems from making these huge, life-altering decisions without direct human intervention.
So it shows a clear progression, a growing concern within the Vatican over time.
Definitely. A continuity of concern across pontificates, and a growing, really persistent call for international regulation to manage these powerful new technologies responsibly. Always, always with human dignity front and center.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's maybe distill the core insights. We've seen Pope Leo IV lay out a really clear ethical framework for AI, one truly centered on safeguarding human dignity.
The bedrock.
We've heard his specific, pretty urgent warnings about AI's impact on young people, intellectually, neurologically, spiritually.
That triad again.
And we've explored these historical echoes, right? Seeing this not as a totally new stance, but a consistent principle applied during massive tech shifts, like the Industrial Revolution.
Connecting the past to the present concern.
And his central message, really, it drives home the importance of discerning between just information and intelligence, and then authentic wisdom.
That crucial hierarchy.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, when you consider, what does it actually mean to be truly intelligent or wise in a world where data is just endlessly available at our fingertips?
That is the question, isn't it? And it raises another one for all of us, for you listening. How do we ensure that AI serves to enhance our, as the Pope puts it, God-given gifts and capabilities? How does it enhance our understanding of the true meaning of life?
Rather than just burying us in data.
Exactly. Rather than merely providing us with an endless stream of data disconnected from meaning or purpose. So as you reflect on this, maybe consider, how can you in your own sphere contribute to ensuring AI development aligns with safeguarding that human dignity and fostering genuine wisdom, not just for ourselves, but for the generations coming up?
A powerful thought to leave us with.